Hello, guys. You're listening to Call You Later podcast, episode 7. My name is John.
And I'm Kelly, and we're both college students, and this is our 7th episode of Call You Later. That is so crazy. Thank you guys if you've been listening to all our episodes so far. And if you just found us, you should definitely go check out our previous episodes.
Yes.
Last time, we just talked about staying healthy at home. We talked all about our favorite home workouts and just how to handle working out at home and finding the balance and everything. Yep. So I think that's really helpful. So today we're going to continue talking about at home with the quarantine, and we're going to be talking about how we're handling classes online as college students.
It's been a struggle.
It's been interesting. So we're going to talk about how we make time for studying in order not to miss assignments, how we make the most of online classes, what we like and dislike about online classes, and what we've learned from online classes.
Yes.
John, you want to start us off?
Sure. So my personal little plan for making time to study in order to not miss assignments.
Oh, didn't you come up with a disclaimer for this week?
I do have a quick disclaimer for this week.
So have you been following us along on our podcast?
Yes.
I'm always the one that has a disclaimer.
Yes.
But John has it this week.
I'm the one that has it this week. So this has been such a mood shift for everyone. I mean, this is a situation that most of us have not ever lived through, you know?
Yeah,
it's something completely new. So I just want to say that with such a flip of a switch like this, it's okay to not be okay with this change, to struggle with it, to have problems with it. It's difficult, and we all have to get through it in different ways, and especially rolling into those of you who are taking summer classes, it's going to be very difficult as well. You know, you're completely cut off from the outside world, essentially, at times, and as far as school goes, and that's difficult to deal with, so it's okay to not be okay.
Definitely. It's okay to have your highs and lows in this period. And I think, honestly, anytime it's okay to feel that way. Yeah. But this time especially, it's okay to be like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Exactly.
Because I think everyone feels that way.
It's mass chaos.
Yeah. So, okay. How we make time for studying in order not to miss assignments?
So I like to flash off that I have this big fancy block calendar. Since classes have gone to online, exactly, it's gone downhill. I kind of just do assignments whenever I want. But
you're causing me stress.
But I will say I do at least keep them into to-do list, which is the least you can do, and it will really help you.
Yeah.
Just like a little Google playlist or checklist, and you can just, it's such a satisfying feeling clicking them off.
To check it off, right?
Yes.
One of my things was to make weekly to-do list. I think it's huge. Especially like online classes, like daily to-do list help, but a lot of times the classes are weekly scheduled. Like you'll get the assignment Monday and it's due on Sunday, like the next following Sunday. So like you have to like plan when you're going to do it during the week. So
definitely.
I think that helps.
Yep. So I mean that's kind of, unfortunately for me, that's it. Like I'm just pushing my way through this, you know, trying to survive. But there are ways that you can make it easier, especially rolling into the summer semester. If you don't have any experience with online classes, you just kind of have to force yourself to do it. You have to develop the discipline.
There's like no other choice.
No, you have to
finish
do
your
it.
Semester.
Exactly.
You know, but I mean, our university did offer like the fact that you can like pass. You can like take it out of your thing. Did you read
the withdrawal?
Yeah, you can withdraw,
grade.
Which is cool because usually they don't offer that as late.
Yeah.
So if you're like just fell off the face of the earth and you don't want your GPA to drop.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I mean, I don't think you get your money back, but I don't know. So I put plan for it and make time for studying. So again, that goes into weekly to-do list. Just kind of like know when it's due. And that's my big thing, is to like look ahead and know what will come next. So like you want to plan this week, but then if you can, plan next week as well. And
get ahead of the game.
Pay close attention to due dates, and especially the time. Like lots of them kind of are due usually at midnight, but sometimes the professors are kind of picky about when it's due. And I've noticed, especially for our classes, a lot of them aren't due on the same day.
No, it's a different schedule for almost every
and
class.
It's a little chaotic, and I go to bed and I'm like, did I turn that in? Like I'm like about to close my eyes and I'm like, wait. So it's just helpful. Like I like to have it on my I don't use Google Calendars. I use the one that's on the Mac, the little Apple calendars, and I put like my due dates, and I have a certain color for schoolwork, but I also write it in my agenda, so I have a paper and digital copy, and I think that helps. But just pay close attention to the dates, plan for it, and then also make it a part of your routine. I mean, I don't have a great routine during quarantine, but like I know like every Monday I like sit down for an hour or two just to do homework.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So then, how to make the most of online classes.
It's a difficult one, but you just have to stick to the positives of it, you know?
You have to stay positive. Like, it's
exactly.
really hard to do, but I think the only way to really get through this time period is to stay positive
Yeah.
or find the positive.
Definitely. Because, I mean, I'm sure for a lot of people, it's the first time they're experiencing online classes.
For me,
Exactly.
yeah.
But you can use this as a learning tool because at times online classes can be really useful. You know, if you have to get that last minute credit in, sometimes online classes are slightly easier.
And some people might find out they really like online classes.
So just look at the positive things, you know, and you could completely hate online classes or Zooms, but sometimes it can be for the best.
Definitely.
What else do you have?
Should I like go through them
Sure,
or like
pitch back and forth?
Okay. There's more free time.
Definitely.
Thankfully, our classes don't require Zoom or mandatory check-in. They just give us the project, say, on Monday, and we have a week to complete it.
Yeah.
So it's completely up to our schedule, which I feel like we're very lucky for having that. But again, some classes you have to have that regular check-in. But if you don't have that, use that to your advantage. It's one of the perks of being online.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, like, you can really, like, if you want to do your homework at 3 a.m, by all means, do your homework at 3 a.m.
I'm guilty of that. I'll admit that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still do it in the middle of the day. I'm like, it's a school mindset.
Yeah, I'm just a procrastination. You just push it off, you know?
Okay, I feel that. So then with that comes a lot of responsibility to stay on top of everything because there's not someone in your class saying, you have to get this done before class is over. Like, you know, your professor's not there looking at you like, did you do your homework?
You don't have that guilt shame of sitting in class and
like,
it's not there.
It's not like the pressure of getting it done before class starts. It's like, I have till Sunday night. I'll do it Saturday night, or Sunday morning.
Do tomorrow.
Like, honestly, I never used to do that, but now it's just like so easy to save it for the last day.
Yep.
And as an art major, sometimes art takes a lot of time to complete.
And then you'll run into countless problems and things will break left and right. And
Don't save it for the day.
Don't save it.
I mean, I'm guilty of it. Okay, do you have another bullet?
It's kind of sticking on to the positivity thing, but just enjoy them. You get to sit at home in your PJs and do classwork. You know, you don't have to get all dressed up and fancy to go to class, even though sometimes, you know, I'm guilty of wearing some gym shorts to class from time to time. But, you know, for me personally, getting to dress up in your PJs and sit there and do some work is nice.
It's like relaxing.
It's an out of the normal bonus.
Yeah. I would say understanding this is all worth it for everyone's health and safety.
Yes.
Definitely helps me stay positive about it and makes the most of it because I do miss going to class and everything, but I know this is for the greater good.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps me stay like, okay, I'm not going to complain about it.
It'll help in the end. My final one that I had is, unless this is your final semester, which unfortunately if it is, you know, there's not much that you can do about it and it really does suck. But if it's not, then just think there are more in-person classes to come next semester. So just stay positive. You'll see your friends soon enough.
Yeah.
You know?
And even if it is your last semester, you can still be in contact with your friends and everything. Yeah. But I do have sympathy for the graduating class. Like, that is a bummer. But better things are going to come.
Better things are going to come.
Everything happens for a reason. And my last one is grateful. Like, be grateful that we had a previous normal semester. Like, you did get a few weeks before this whole thing happened to enjoy the semester. And then kind of, if it isn't your last semester, don't take it for granted after this.
No.
Just, like, don't complain about class. Enjoy it. Be like, oh, I'm so lucky I get to go to school. You know, like one of those things. So then our next category is what we like and dislike about classes. Yes. Online classes.
Online classes.
Online classes. So do you want to start with our likes?
Sure. You want to go first?
Okay. Not having to sit through 3-hour-long lectures.
It's very nice. With a 10-minute break in between, just not quite enough.
All our classes are 3-hour-long lecture classes, which is so doable, but when you have 5 of them, and like a lot of them are back to back,
it gets a little rough at the end of the day.
It's a little hard. And like this way we can do it whenever we want, so it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm going to do my Illustrator homework. That's like a art program on Monday night, you know, like I'm just going to space it out. It's quite nice. Another one is it's completely custom to our schedule. So again, we can do our homework whenever we want. We can read the lectures whenever we want. And I think it's just like an easier workload. Yeah. I'm not saying there's more work.
For some classes, it's an easier workload.
It's like just easier. It kind of is one of my things that goes in the likes and dislikes. It's an easier workload because art classes are really hard to do fully online, which is kind of a bummer that our classes got like gypped. But, you know, we're making the most of it.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's always next semester. So for me, it allows me more time to do work. I can usually complete it whenever I want to a certain extent. I don't have to see some of my professors that were just a slight bit annoying, you know?
Okay.
Those that would just ramble on and on and on and on,
It
not
is
stop.
nice because like sometimes like you like the professors, but they just take up like obviously you sign up for the 3 hour classes and you're expected to be there for the whole 3 hours, but it doesn't mean the 3 hours aren't like painfully boring where you're like,
exactly.
not sure when I'm going to use this.
Because there are some professors in our program that are actually interesting to listen to, and I can actually sit there and, you know, tolerate for 3 hours. I get to see more of my family, more of the people that I love, which means a lot. So that's nice. Not have to have 15 hours out of my week.
Exactly, you
gone.
get like 15 hours back in your life.
And obviously, since we're art students and media production students, it's actually forced me to learn some of the improvisations that they're out there in our field. So we've had to learn how to do different things that we normally wouldn't have to do in a normal classroom scenario, as far as things with like camera production and stuff like that.
I think that's a really good one. So we're in a video class, and one of the things that I kind of at first was like, this really stings, you know, because we don't have access to all the equipment. Like, granted, we do have a lot of the equipment, like especially being a YouTuber and stuff, like we have lighting, we have cameras and stuff, but we don't have the equipment that we were going to be taught in this class. But we've learned to improvise without it. So we're learning how to do it, but make it our own.
Yeah.
Which I think is a beautiful thing that we wouldn't have been able to learn without the whole online class.
Definitely.
So I think that's really like a nice dislike turned like.
Exactly. There are positives and everything. You know, you just got to look in
the flip it and make it positive.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And then my last one was the workload has gotten massively easier, but that rolls into my dislike if you're ready to roll into those. Work has also gotten much harder, especially in the line we're in with the improvisations.
Can you explain that a little bit more? So you're saying it got easier, but you said it got harder at the same time.
So it's easier because we can do it on our own schedule. We have a little bit more flexibility because most professors have been able to work with us if we work with them.
Right.
But it's also gotten harder because of the improv that we've had to do. We've had to shift everything and do everything completely differently, completely against the grain of what we're used to. So things have gotten difficult in that perspective. But then some classes it has gotten 10 times easier. You know, you just have to sit and watch a video lecture. If you decide to watch the video lecture for 30 minutes and answer a quiz. I
think too, it really depends on how everyone like individually handles the situation.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on how everyone's learning skills are.
Yeah.
Because I remember learning about there's 3 different types of learners. There's the like people who listen to it, the people that see it, and then the people who do both.
Okay.
So it's like a visual and an audio cue, and then like they need to do both. Like they need to perform it and hear it.
Okay.
You know, like that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's interesting to see how people do learn. Yeah. Like personally, like I like to have someone there to show me how to do it. Like I have to hear them say it and show me how to do it for me to really pick up on it. Where like right now it's like I have to do it all myself.
You have to force yourself to do it. Yeah.
It's like you're learning yourself. So my dislikes going into it are definitely not being able to see my friends and professors.
I had that one. That's pretty bad.
I didn't think I'd feel like this. I guess I like, as much as a social person I am, I always think I'm like, oh, I'm like that person that's like, yeah, sure, we can hang out. And then like casually like, oh my God, do I really want to hang out? Like that kind of thing. But I miss seeing my friends. Yeah. And then like seeing your professors and just kind of having like that one-on-one like learning and being like just seeing them teach the class and stuff. And then my other really big one, I really miss getting dressed for class.
Like, we're the exact opposite. I'm over here talking about PJs. I had
so many cute spring outfits that I haven't been able to wear. It's quite a struggle.
I cannot say the same, like, but I feel your pain.
Like I could get dressed up to stay at home and do my homework, but then I'm like, then I'm just gonna have to do a lot of laundry. You know, like there's just so many reasons not to do it. I'm like, no one's gonna even witness the cute outfit. Share them on Instagram, but it's just not enough. It's not as fulfilling. Do you wanna?
Sure, yeah. So definitely one of my biggest dislikes is they've recently come back, but one of our professors from the like day that we went on to online classes up until about the 24th of April, so a solid month, disappeared.
He like left everything. Like I don't know, we're on Canvas, which I don't know if a lot of
colleges use Canvas.
So it's like Blackboard Canvas. It's like the next one. And he was like, he extended our spring break an extra week, just his class alone. And then he just never heard from him again. And our semester ends in like a week. And we're just kind of like, is there going to be more work? Like literally we only have half a semester's worth of grades. And I'm just kind of like, oh, what are we gonna? I was like asking Dan, I'm like, what are we gonna do? Exactly. Like, is it gonna continue? And then someone reached out to the professor or like a professor in the degree
Yeah.
say like no one's heard from him.
Yeah, he just
But
disappeared.
like it creates a little bit of worry because you're kind of like, is everything okay? But then you're kind of like worried about your grade, like what am I supposed to be doing? And then it kind of feels like, am I the only one not getting this?
Yes.
Because you're so like alone in this situation.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that was probably my biggest dislike of the online classes. Also, due dates were very uncertain at times.
There's no schedule for that class whatsoever.
And then every class runs on a different schedule. Some classes are Monday to Sunday. Some are, I don't genuinely know when assignments were due for some of them.
One of our classes is like Thursday till Tuesday.
And it changed every week.
And every week it changes.
The dates did not align.
Yeah, so it was really hard to keep track of. So I think going back to what we talked about earlier, weekly to-do lists are the way to go.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
You just need to focus on that one week, get your assignments ready, and just be prepared for it. Another one of my dislikes of not having about having online classes is I miss driving to class and like
commutes were nice.
Going there, you know, like it just kind of was like my time in the car to think about things, and now I'm just kind of like exactly like I feel like I don't listen to a lot of music now, which I mean like ultimately I can change, but that was like my me time. And now I'm just like, I guess I'm signed into school already, you know, like at my house, like roll out of bed, go check the computer. And then I just like miss the routine of having classes, like the schedule. You have to be up at this time to get to class. Like I just wake up whenever I want now. Like I don't even set alarms.
Although that can be nice at times.
It's nice for the first few days, but we're on like day 45 of quarantine. So it was nice the first week.
Fair enough.
Now I'm kind of like, I miss my routine and structure, and it's really hard to motivate myself to have that root structure when there's nothing to do.
It's very difficult. You just have to force yourself to do it. You know, it's nearly it's hard to develop the discipline to do it.
Yeah.
So another dislike for me is I actually kind of empathize with our professors at times because schools don't realize that the amount of work that they've thrown onto the professors to create an online learning environment. Because
at the beginning of the semester, they plan for all their in-person courses where they weren't ready for this. They might not even know how to do it.
Exactly. They were given a week to organize, and some of our professors were never trained to run the online classes.
Yeah.
And now they have to stay at home with their kids and manage the left and right. You know, for the 8-hour workday, you're getting kids bombarding you all day. So I do empathize with them. And then like you, I miss face-to-face interaction.
Definitely.
That was my last dislike. Our friend group hasn't seen each other in probably 45 days.
It's so weird. But like, I just have faith that everything's going to go back to normal eventually, or somewhat normal.
It will.
Yeah. So those are all my likes and dislikes. Do you have any more?
That's it for me. Okay. I'm out.
And then what we learned from online classes. Do you want to start us off?
Sure. So as much as we talk about not developing the discipline to do things, I feel like it's forced me to learn to better manage my time.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
But because it really has. You know, it's one of those things where it was really hard initially, but you really just have to go with the flow and learn the process and force yourself to do the work when push comes to shove.
Definitely. Like you have to get your assignments done in case you want to keep your grades up, you want to get that perfect GPA, everything like that. Okay, what else you got?
So I've learned to love and hate online classes. I had previously done online classes, so I kind of had known them and the interface, but it was a whole different program and software that was being used.
And again, I think it's every online class is a little bit different, and these weren't intentionally made to be online classes, which makes it really challenging. All of our classes were not intended to be made online. I think something we learned from that is we learned how to adapt to do it.
Adapt and improvise, overcome.
Exactly.
Yes. And then you want to rattle off one?
Let's hear your list. Put the pressure on you.
Again, I empathize with my professors. I've learned how tough it can be because one of ours did drop off the face of the planet of the Earth, and he did offer a semi-decent explanation as to why, but I just kind of feel bad for him. You know, it's really tough at times what they get thrown at them, but also it's no excuse. It is their job, you know, so it's just like us. It's our job as students to do the work. It's their job as professors to provide the work. So it's a give and get relationship, you know. And then finally, I've learned we're all in this together.
We have High School Musical quote.
Yes, we have to just stick to it. It
There's
sucks for all of us.
we can do, but we can just adapt to it and get rolling with it.
We just have to be positive about it. Yep. So that was my learned from the quarantine?
Okay, what I learned is you have to make time and schedule for homework.
Yes.
Like, I feel like we knew that going into the semester with regular classes.
Yeah.
But you genuinely have to do this all on your own now because there's no one there for you to do it. Like, it's a very, like, you have to be self-disciplined enough to make sure you get it done and be responsible enough to know when everything is due and then to make time to do it. And then some of the videos okay, this is like so petty of me. I probably shouldn't share this online, but some of the videos professors attach and share, like, instead of like, so sometimes, like, I don't know, for our example, is like, I don't know, some professors will make their own videos of them teaching the class, like they'll read their PowerPoint. Those I do watch, but when they link other videos, like tutorials, when I'm like, they didn't do that, someone else made it.
Yeah.
I watched a few of them and I felt like I wasted so much of my time watching them because it didn't help me. And then I was just kind of like, I just feel like they're not doing their job at that point, which is horrible for me to say that. But I don't watch them because I just feel like it wastes my time. So that's what I learned from my online class experience. And then my last bullet point is to appreciate classes when they go back to normal. Like, just don't take them for granted.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
So that's all I have.
Okay,
do you have anything else you want to mention?
That's all I've got for today.
Okay. So again, if you guys aren't following us on social media,
make sure to go check us out.
On Instagram, it's callyalater podcast. Our personals are linked in the bio. We reached 100 followers, which is exciting.
Yes, we did.
We've been posting little, like, previews of the next episode.
Just little snippets of video clips,
we have,
things
like,
like
a
that.
Little feed going on.
We do.
Respond to comments. We love getting DMs from you guys. And then we also are on Twitter, which is callyalaterpod.
Yep.
You can use our hashtag.
Tweet ya later.
Yes, so that's a lot of fun. And if you guys are listening on Spotify,
hit that follow button.
Yes,
if you're on Apple Podcast, hit subscribe. It helps us out a lot in the end.
Yes, and then
we really
also,
appreciate it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, subscribe on Apple Music, and then if you're watching on YouTube, definitely subscribe.
Hit
that button and give the video a big thumbs up.
Yes.
I think we've grown up a few subscribers too on YouTube recently. Have you checked that out?
I believe we have, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. We're so excited. I just feel like it's so fun. We're like getting farther into the 7 episodes.
Yeah.
So next week we are going to be talking all about communication and dating.
Yes.
Ooh,
it's going to be a big one.
It's
going to be a big episode. So make sure you stick around for that. Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned me and John are dating.
Yeah, no, it's quite a surprise, guys.
Okay, well, I guess until next week, call you later.
Call you later.
Bye.
Bye.